In this video, I will talk about your scale for life, what you should despise and what you should love, how that relates to your heart, right? Do you care? If you don't care, why are you living? Just to be in a crazed mind state and kind of do whatever feels good? Shouldn't you despise things as a matter of principle and not want to participate? And shouldn't you love things so much that you can't bear to dishonor them or lose them? Loving the truest and most honorable people among your people, loving God. Loving those honorable people from your family long ago that wanted you to do the right thing, etc. So keep in mind that is the main key point of this video is the scale. The second main key point is that Satanists have been mocking you for a long time for reproducing and not fighting them to the death. Okay, we see this in the story of Medusa. Okay, remember, I've discussed in past videos, Apollo authorizes colonialism. He deals in science, poetry, medicine, plagues, philosophy. He distracts you from the truth. Religions and all these things that we have, philosophies, they are there to distract you. That's how they're applied. People don't go to these things and learn the moral of the story and do the right thing. They're instead distracted and assimilated. And this has to do with their natural inclinations and their breeding. Okay. When people have been cultivating vegetables for a long time, they know when they plant a seed, it's either going to be a tomato or it's going to die. And that's where we are. People outside of the divine order, other people, when they reproduce, are either going to be die off or they're going to be evil. That's why the wordplay with Medusa, who was raped by Poseidon. Remember, he guards people with the colonialism. He guards them on the way, the ships, right, the storms, the earthquakes. This is what Poseidon deals with. Okay. Medusa, the wordplay, made you so. First and foremost, the wordplay they're mocking there with is made you so. Why did Athena punish Medusa by making her have snakes in her hair to make her unattractive and fearsome to those who laid eyes on her? Why? Because her order was to guard her temple. Okay, don't let anyone inside. She let them inside, and Neptune/Poseidon raped her. Okay, my job is to bring you to God. If I happen to get raped, it's horrible. Those people are wrong with God, but that's not my job. My job is to deliver you the message, and whoever comes to me and follows me goes to heaven. That's my job. Everything else is people getting cursed for moving against me and trying to interfere. And other things that I do. All right. So, and to bring you to heaven, I have to address these things like love. And we'll get to that. So, made you so, Medusa. Made you see, made you say, made you sigh. Remember, actions speak louder than words. They've made everybody cuss out God by making them behave in a way that definitively shows that they're not obeying me. I said, come to me, obey me. They're not doing that. Their actions is cussing out the person whose message, the God whose message I'm relaying and conveying. Okay. So Perseus, poor, and pair, see as. When they have sex, the two people, it's apparent their children see things a certain way, right? They slip into various states of denial, and this is what the various deities of various cultures represent, other than God, the one true God, and the true form of Horus, son of Ra, the martial arts, Pharaoh, Haro Aries, the heir of the O, the reproductive cycle, Aries, Eri from Nigeria, Biafra, B of Ra. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward here. There's also more wordplay in regards to magic add I's, E, the M represents magic, and magic add or odd, A's, E. Blessed are the childless wombs, it says in the Bible. There will come a time when you say, blessed are the childless wombs. When we extract the true moral here is it's a bunch of rape cults having their way with you. People eventually wake up and say, blessed are the childless wombs, right? There will come a time when you say this. The time was right there when Jesus died. That's why a lot of monks don't have sex. It was already there, okay? Blessed are the childless wombs. There will come a time when you snap out of it and say, that's what happened when the vine was green. What will happen when it's dry and withered? After I'm dead, there is no vine. There is no way to climb up to heaven. There is no tree of life. This goes back to the leopard fighting with the python, the boa on the tree of life. Goes back to boat, Boar, right? The boardwalk, Santa Cruz, it starts with B-O-A-R. The boar, a form of Set. Moving on. Also, there's this tale of Saturn, and he castrates Uranus. And in turn, Zeus does a form of castrating to Saturn and wages war with the Titans, and it does a form of castration. So all throughout the mythology, we see castration taking place. Who's killing who and why, and whose cult followers are on the rise, and whose quote-unquote god or gods don't bless them enough, and their cult followers on the way out. So the story of Perseus is a story of a fake hero in its true form, from the island that is wordplay for Serapis, C-Rap is, and poor, and pair, see us, right? Have sex, pour your semen. Okay, and Medusa, made you so. So these guys are concerned with controlling sex. Of course, there's eugenics. There's Plato saying, in the Republic, I believe it was, saying this: the state should control reproduction. There's the 12 Tables of Rome, I believe, that also talks about eugenics, right, using a different word for it. So went over actions speak louder than words. Speak and peak. What did you do in your peak of your life? Did you obey, or did you wait till I'm gone? Right. So so the hero must emerge and give it his best shot. And eventually he refines it, right? Refinement. Ment means mind in Latin, mentality, right? Refinement. All right. Also, when we look at Blessed Are the Childless Wombs, dating by itself proves what's going on here. People are dating for the wrong reasons. Everyone else is outside the divine order. Okay, it's a martial art order, martial to order, marital, material, right? Martial to material, so it's where it needs to be for the spirit to take off, so they are conveyed the message naturally in person, right? Naturally and supernaturally. So the dating by itself shows that blessed are the wombs that never bore, because people are sleeping with scum for outside the divine order. By the time we factor in mind control, it's overkilled, right? It's evil. Live is evil backwards. How much more to bring in another life form, right? It is super evil to bring in a child, okay, in this day and age and forevermore. All right, so we when you look at this thing, this argument leads to why be moral, right? Morality. Why be moral? That's their argument. They're saying, hey, I see where you're going with this. You want me to risk my kid, right? You're never too young to die for God. Think about all the despicable things people do to their kids, and all the despicable things they have their kids do, like help them harass people and so on and so forth. So they're giving their kids cocaine and smoking weed around them, secondhand smoke, all this horrible stuff. They're drinking when they're pregnant. They're doing all this horrible stuff to their children. But they're not willing to risk their children dying for God. That's how far gone they are. Okay. Also, when we look at the story of Medusa and Perseus, there's multiple stories in one. I don't want you to miss that. Okay, that's part of how they confuse you. The chiro itself, the chiropractor, the chiropractor, practice ear, practor. Okay, we look at this thing, right? It's superimposed. Constantine superimposed himself on the idea of the martial art hero. The Bible is a bunch of magicians superimposing themselves on the story of Horus, the guy whose wages is obedience. The wages of being the top martial artist who forged himself and refined his senses with righteousness and sensitivity to injustice and righteous indignation and focused righteous intensity, focus, okay, is everyone obeys him. When you don't obey me, you are stealing from God. Okay, you are thieves. When and this has to do with the trickle-down blood money. Okay, the trickle-down blood money is when people basically kill off the righteous, and scientifically, mind you, and they've been planning it, they've been doing it for thousands of years and refining their techniques, scientifically replace them with their own children so they can play hero, so they can play replacement. Okay. Ultimately, that's every generation they're using that blood money to then find a mate. Every time they have sex, they're using the continuity of their inheritance, their well, right? Whose well? The poisoned well that's been poisoned with the snake's venom, the viper's venom, the blood money, the poisonous blood, okay? The blood of Medusa, if you will. It's trickled down every generation. So when their argument in the Bible is, for those who would take it literally, that heaven comes to earth, they're then going to be the people who snake the righteous, and they're going to establish Jerusalem on earth, and Jesus is going to reign forever, okay? And they take that as they're going to keep reproducing and find a way scientifically to have their children live here forever, whatever. Okay. Obviously, this is sick. Okay, obviously, they're drunk off the blood of the saints, and they get people to join them in drinking, and by the time they've spread out their tentacles and branched out, everybody else is in on it, and that's why they're not manning up. They have the blood of craftsmen, crafty craftsmen, nerds, other people who don't have heart. Okay, trickle down blood money. All right. So, the answer to the why be moral has to do with responsibility. Okay, your child is you're like a snake, a viper, when you've bred with vipers. The viper, the RNA, gene expression. So when the vipers then come around, right, in their various forms, and they impregnate a woman, right, in colonialism otherwise, right, they find a way to get the attractive woman, they impregnate her, and she has a child. And this gets confusing because these people take on various forms. They're not just one form, like this white-skinned people, right? They have spread out over time. Their genes are all over the place. And they have token minorities that have pledged allegiance to them who are in the same energy of thievery that they are. They're doing it in the same form and fashion. So there's token minorities and different people in colonialists, neocolonialists all over the world breeding in this way. It's trickle down blood money, responsibility, right? So everyone else is basically a viper, okay, spiritually speaking. They are a brood of vipers. And they are in the baby's cradle, okay, the earth. You have to say to yourself, I'm a snake and I just bred another snake. I need to redeem myself and become a human or that snake's going to bite the baby. Okay? Period. Now this is one way to look at it. Now one could argue this is not perfect because everyone else is a snake. Well then it's a matter of the snake is going to bite the Pharaoh. Okay? The one guy who's loyal to God who's trying to get you to redeem you. So you've bred a bunch of snakes that go after the only person who's blameless. Okay, and you refuse to take them to God and change them. Okay. So you should have asked yourself, why have a child? You're bringing them into the world where they're going to be complicit with mass rape, mass murder, and all other kinds of crimes, right? Complicity, part, a play on words for trap, right? Pair-T, poor-T, P, ear, who do you listen to, whose dick you listen to, so to speak, part. This also has to do with sacred math. Breeding what? Evil plus evil equals evil. Math is a play on words for mate, where the H is the fence. Mate, fence, checkmate, right? Now, you're idiots if you're lost right now. I'm speaking slowly. There's nothing here that's that complicated. If you're going, huh? Just start over the fucking watch it again, okay? If you don't understand what I'm saying, watch it again and again and again and again until you get it. All right, moving on. So RNA gene expression, colonial mistake. What was the mistake you made? It was the it was the female that you took. Okay, you took the attractive females, and of the most attractive females, historically speaking, was the females related to the martial art order for obvious reasons. They're working on mind, body, and soul. They're getting sexy, have nice asses and tits and blah, blah, blah. The things of worldly people, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so bad tree, bad fruit. Okay, look that up in the Bible. A parent, like father, like son. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We've all heard these sayings. We've had plenty of opportunity to see that they're true. The Jesus argument, Yah says, G says, Sage says, versus Ra says. Who sows? Are you sowing in the spirit of Yah, or G, or the Sage, or Ra, the one true God, the true pure marshaling force of the God? Redemption. The A versus E. Are you stealing from the A with all the E's? And that goes back to the tricky, the sneaky, the crafty, the geeky, the pansy, the fatty, all the E words. The people who know damn well they're not worthy, right, because they're an E, of the most attractive women, but they still play the game and take the dame, and it's the same old treachery. Okay, the most worthy is the A, and I'm the last valid A. So moral, more L, more reality. What you know is right. And this also goes back to the, see, I have to fucking shoot through this. Horus versus Set. Okay, Isis, Anat, Astarte. Set was fixated on women. Okay, obviously it was about the females. Okay. When we see these females in sex cults, they're broken and not empowered. Like the feminists, right? Why are they having sex with scum? Because they're broken. They're disassociating with reality and they're sleeping with scum and fucking, it's the spirit versus the flesh. Who has the right to rule? The root and the offspring of David, who's risking the tribal family in war. David risked his tribal family in war. Abraham and Isaac's story. I know the spirit of righteousness and I'm going to bring you to God. Bottom line argument, right? Who knows better? Who's going to bring you to God? Okay? I've been making this argument all my life. Who takes it seriously? The other guys made a blood money pact with the system to survive, to mislead you. Okay, what scale do you have? People should be hit with a bat for not doing the right thing. And that about covers it. I suggest you watch this video several times, take notes, and listen to what I'm saying.